In a village called Drybell, it hadn't rained in 5 whole years. Not even a drizzle. The wells were getting low, the gardens grew tired, and everyone looked up at the sky like they were waiting for something they had long forgotten. But not Tilly. Tilly was 10 years old, and every day, she painted clouds in her sketchbook, giant puffy ones, long dragon-shaped ones, even clouds shaped like cupcakes. She had never seen a real cloud in her life, but her grandmother had told her stories. They used to dance in the sky, Grandma whispered once, holding her teacup. They had moods and memories, the clouds were alive, child. No one believed Grandma anymore. They said her stories were just old nonsense. But Tilly believed every single word. One dry and dusty afternoon, Tilly sat on the roof of her house with Pip, her one-eared cat, when something strange floated into the sky. It was a balloon, not an ordinary one, but silvery and shining, with a note tied to the string. Tilly reached up and grabbed it. To whoever finds this, the note read, "Please come, the clouds are dying, and only a dreamer can save them. Nimbus, the cloud catcher." That night, Tilly couldn't sleep. She stared at the note over and over again. "The clouds are dying," she whispered to Pip. "We have to go." Pip blinked once, clearly unsure. The next day, she returned to the roof, this time bringing string, cloth, bottles of ginger ale, and an old patchwork umbrella. She'd read enough stories to know what to do. She was building a flying balloon. The villagers just shook their heads. "Don't waste your time, child," said Old Man Rutger. "Clouds don't matter anymore," but Grandma gave her a tiny compass. "It doesn't point north," she said. "It points up." That night, under a moon full and round, Tilly's balloon lifted off. Pip meowed nervously beside her as the wind carried them high, higher, and higher still, past rooftops, past treetops, into the blue black of the sky. Then, they broke through a layer of nothing and entered a sky full of color and wonder. They had reached the land of weather. The sky wasn't empty. It was teeming with floating islands made of mist, creatures made of fog, and giant bridges woven from sunlight. Raindrops rights giggled from behind fluffy boulders. A thundercloud snoozed nearby, gently rumbling in its sleep. And in the middle of it all stood a boy, no older than 12, wearing goggles and a coat stitched with lightning bolts. "You made it," he shouted. "You got my note. I'm Tilly," she said, stepping onto a floating dock. "You're Nimbus?" he nodded, eyes sparkling. "I'm the last cloud catcher." The clouds, they stopped forming on their own. They're tired. Some have even vanished. Why? Because people below stopped looking up. They forgot how to wonder. And clouds need wonder to live. Tilly felt her heart twist. All those days she had stared at the sky, hoping. Could that really make a difference? "I still wonder," she said. Nimbus grinned. "Then we have a chance." Nimbus led her to his workshop, a floating dome made of crystal mist. Inside were glowing jars labeled, sunbeam dust, moonlight crystals, giggle breezes, rumpy fog. "These are the ingredients we use to build weather," he explained. "But we're missing the most important one, imaginary." "What's that?" "A rare kind of sky energy that comes from believing in things even when no one else does." Tilly looked surprised. "Like Grandma's stories?" "Exactly." The imaginary had almost vanished. "There's only one place left we can find it," Nimbus said. "The forgotten cloud, Stratus Rex, the first and oldest of all clouds." Pip meowed nervously. "To get there," Nimbus added, "we'll have to cross the storm spiral, fly through Lightning Reef, and sneak past the weather eaters." Tilly swallowed hard. Sounds fun. They strapped their balloon with echo sails and turbolift clouds. The journey was dizzying. The storm spiral spun around them like a wild tornado filled with music. Tilly played her harmonica to calm the spiral down, remembering what Grandma used to hum. The wind slowed. The path opened. Then came Lightning Reef, a jagged maze of electric coral and crackling air. Pip's fur stood straight up, and Nimbus used a mirror shield to bounce bolts away. Tilly had to trust the compass that pointed up, even when it felt all wrong. Finally, they reached the dark edge of the world. There it was, Stratus Rex. A massive, silent cloud drifting alone. It looked like a floating mountain made of memory. As they landed on Stratus Rex, the air grew heavy. Tilly could feel sadness in the mist. "No one believes in me anymore," a voice said. Tilly turned to see a shape forming from fog, a great old cloud with eyes like old glass windows. "I used to be everything," it said. The shape's children saw, a face in the sky, the one who floated dreams. Tilly stepped forward. "I still see you." She held out her sketchbook, full of cloud drawings. The old cloud wept. And where its tears fell, light bloomed. Stratus Rex opened his chest, revealing a glowing heart of imaginary. Tilly filled a tiny bottle, careful not to spill a drop. "Take it," said the cloud. "Make the world look up again." Back at Nimbus's workshop, they mixed the imaginary with all the ingredients. Tilly stirred, while Pip meowed the tempo. "Ready?" Nimbus said. "Ready." They released the mixture into the sky. It shimmered, burst, and spread. Suddenly, clouds began forming on their own. Tiny ones. Giant ones. Dragon-shaped ones. Marshmallow puffs and curling wisps. And then, rain. Soft, sweet rain that fell gently down toward the earth. When Tilly's balloon drifted back to her village, people were gathered in the streets, staring up. Clouds floated above Drybell, real, living clouds. Old Man Rutger dropped his hat in awe. Children danced in puddles. Grandma smiled with tears in her eyes. "See," she whispered. "I told you the clouds would come back." Tilly looked up at the sky, and for a second, she saw Nimbus wave from a misty perch far above. Then a single raindrop splashed on her nose. She laughed. From that day on, Tilly kept watching the skies. She built weather journals, wrote cloud poems, and taught the other kids to look up, to wonder, and to believe. And sometimes, when the clouds were just right, she swore she could still see Pip chasing a sunbeam or hear the far-off giggle of a breeze. The clouds had returned. And so had wonder.